Hello everybody, it's Shadows Rain, and in today's video we are going to be bringing you another gun guide of what you should be using in the up-in-your-face, send someone straight to the ether place in the meta. So for this one we're going to be using the TEC-9, we're going to be using the VAL, and we're going to be using the MAC-10. Now, the TEC-9, it is just a little disclaimer, it's kind of going to be shoehorned into this one because I was already more than halfway getting everything sorted out there before we got the TEC-9 in there. I haven't got it unlocked yet, and there's limited stats currently on True Game Data at the moment, but the stats that we do have we will cover, just to let you know if it's actually worth putting any points into this in XP in time. So yeah, let's break it down. So the damage on the TEC-9 is going to be 53, on the VAL it's going to be 37, and on the MAC-10 it's going to be 23. Now the headshot damage on the TEC-9 is going to be 79, on the VAL it's going to be 47, and then on the MAC-10 it's going to be 27. So straight away, not really worth going for headshots on the MAC-10. Now, let's talk about rate of fire. For damage, is nothing without a decent rate of fire. On the tech, it is going to be 424, which is up there with a normal semi-automatic VAL. So, yeah, it's a decent fire rate, does lots of damage, and up close, it will shred people. VAL is going to come in at 885 rounds per minute, which mixed with its damage numbers makes this gun an extremely fast time to kill, but we'll get into that particular stat later on. Next we're going to talk about the range. So in terms of the range, don't yet have a number for the TEC-9, so I don't have all the max attachments built for it, which is how I do it on the channel for these gun guides. So for the VAL, it's going to come in at 41 meters, which is absolutely ludicrous, and then the MAC-10, it's going to be 18 meters. So straight away on the MAC-10, you know, you're at a massive range disadvantage when using that against an VAL. It's one of the few things that can actually beat a MAC-10 up close. Now, we're going to move on to bullet velocity. Again, TEC-9, no number for this yet. The VAL, on the max damage, on the max range build, should I say, you're going to be sending people to the ether by throwing things at them at 429 meters per second, which, it's okay. It's okay. The MAC-10, however, does have a faster bullet velocity, coming out at 670 meters per second. So at those slightly more ranged encounters, you're going to be getting those bullets out a bit quicker, and you're not going to be trading with people as much, which basically means a trade is when you knock someone and they knock you as well. So you'll be trading a bit less with an VAL. Another thing I want to bring into the equation as well, now this is a very specific one for these two guns at the moment, is movement speed. Now with movement speed, this is what I kind of noticed, and the kind of why I'm bringing it into the picture. I was streaming with Awkward Onion, Biggles, and I believe Slater it was on Sunday morning over on the UGN channel, and essentially I noticed that when I was rocking the VAL, I was moving a lot slower than what I would be with the MAC-10. The second I got a MAC-10 into the game was when I started keeping up with these guys and actually starting to, you know, be my best and get loads of kills. Whereas with the VAL, though I was winning my gunfights, it was where I was actually in a gunfight in time to make a difference. And that's because the base movement speed, the base, when you got fully kitted up, going to be 4.52 meters per second on an VAL. That's just standing. Standing on the MAC-10 is going to be 5 meters per second, like as in walking. Now, this is where it gets mental, guys. So when you're sprinting, it's going to be 6.04 meters per second on the VAL. However, on the MAC-10, it's going to be 6.94 meters per second. You are going to be running so much faster with the MAC-10. The MAC-10 is going to make sure that you're in these fights more often. Though you're not going to be doing as much damage, you're at least going to be able to have a say in these bloody fights. So there you go, something for you to bear in mind. Now the next stat that I do want to move on to, which the TEC-9 does get brought into a little bit, is going to be the time to kill. Now, the time to kill on the TEC-9 is going to come in at 556 milliseconds. Really respectable, really decent for a submachine gun. That is going to, you know, that's really high. Next is the VAL. The VAL is going to come in at 403 milliseconds, obviously just the same as it did in the last episode. It's going to melt people. It's going to absolutely blitz them. You're going to be putting them through the grinder. There's going to be nothing left of them once you engage on someone with an VAL. On the MAC-10, it is coming in at 588 meters per second, which is respectable. That is still a really high time to kill, especially up close in people's faces. Only thing that's going to be doing stuff quicker than these damage numbers is going to be shotguns and the likes of the AS-VAL. Now, there's things that I do want you to know in this as well. So I'm going to get into that now. Now, with the TEC-9, though it is extremely fun, it will kill, I believe, slightly quicker than a fennec, but that's obviously, you know, up close in people's faces. Now, one thing with these guns that I do want you to bear in mind is that range where you're actually going to be doing that filthy damage. So, with the TEC-9, you know, you're going to be dropping people super quick. Now, though I don't have official range numbers for this yet, the MAC-10 seems to be favouring slightly in this range department by about 3 to 4 meters. However, I've not included the range for the TEC-9 because I don't have the full numbers for when it's got, you know, its agency suppressor on, its longest barrel, stuff like that, you know? So, yeah, it is safe to say that TEC-9 could actually compete with the MAC-10 in terms of range. Now, if you want to be using the MAC-10 for that extra range, you are going to be losing a little bit of bullet velocity, although it will have, you know, a lot of ammo that you can use with it. You know, that's not bullet velocity, sorry, the bullet range, the damage range. Now, if you're going to be using anything past 20 meters, 25 meters, you might just be better off using an assault rifle anyway. So for that, the AS-VAL or, you know, just whatever assault rifle you use and past that range is going to be probably good anyway. So when it comes to below 20 meters, what the individual numbers aren't that important because you're going to be blitzing people from close range anyway. So yeah, just something for you to bear in mind. The TEC-9 is really fun, and if its handling properties are anywhere near the MAC-10s, it will be worth running. Now this is what I want to get into. So it will kill quicker than a MAC-10, but it is a lot less forgiving, should I say. So what I mean by that is that it's got a much slower fire rate, so if you do happen to miss a shot, you've got to wait a lot longer before you can get the next shot out there. Meaning if you miss a shot, you're going to dramatically increase your time to kill. Whereas with the MAC-10, if you miss a bullet, it's not really going to be making that much damage because you're firing them out at that much of a high fire rate anyway. So if you're confident up close, you like aiming down sights, you like taking people head on in a fight, TEC-9 is for you. If you're a spray and pray and you want to hip fire a lot of people, stick with the MAC-10. Honestly, that is how you want to be running. Like, if that's your playstyle, that's how you're going to want to be running it. Now, the AS-VAL, it has an absolutely mental time to kill, as you've already seen, 403 milliseconds, which makes it over 153 milliseconds quicker than the next best thing in the TEC-9. So why would you run an AS-VAL? If you are the fight instigator, if you're the one that goes in making fights happen, if you're the main aggressor, run the AS-VAL. Though you lose a little bit movement speed, if you're in the fight and you're starting the fight, doesn't matter. You're probably ending the fight too with an AS-VAL. Whereas if you're the one that's following your team, you're not really starting fights, but you're getting involved in them, and you're more of a team player than you are, I don't want to say individual, but more of a fight starter, an instigator, whatever you want to call it, engager, then you want to be rocking with the MAC-10 because the MAC-10's movement speed is going to make sure you actually keep up with your team quite a lot. Now, if you're using the MAC-10 and you're chasing your teammates, you are going to keep up with the MAC-10. However, I noticed that setting off at the same time as my party on Sunday who were using MAC-10s with an AS-VAL, by the time it comes to actually getting into the fight, you are going to be noticeably behind. And in a lot of cases, the fight's going to be over before you're just getting yourself in a position to actually take the fight. So that is something to bear in mind. So if you're rocking this on an LMG class, go with the MAC-10, give yourself some extra mobility, give yourself a bit of an advantage in getting into these fights. If you're rocking a class that's using a light AR, or, you know, like a sniper rifle, or anything like that, like a marksman rifle, like a light marksman rifle, maybe the AS-VAL is not a bad shout for you because you're going to have that extra range as well, which is going to give you a lot more damage, you know, up to 41 meters, which is a little bit more forgiving than what the 18 meters of the MAC-10 and TEC-9 is going to be. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. AS-VAL for raw damage. If you're the one starting a fight with the MAC-10, with the AS-VAL, use the AS-VAL. It's an absolute beast. However, like I say, if you're not starting the fight and you're just getting in on them in team fights, use the MAC-10. And yeah, AS-VAL's good for solos, duos, MAC-10, everything else. So guys, that's this video pretty much wrapped up, really. Like I say, I was going to do shotguns, but until it got recommended in the comment section below that I'd do the MAC-10. Then of course the TEC-9 came out, which kind of fitted in terms of the time to kill and where people are going to be using them. So kind of shoehorned that in there. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Every single little subscription, every single like makes a massive difference. So yeah, guys, what do you want to see next? You actually want to see the AS-VAL versus shotgun? Do you want want to see what kind of shotguns you should be using in general, let me know in the comment section below. Till then, guys, I've been Shadows Rain. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next Shadows Rain A1A video. Peace.